What is up, guys? James here from the Light of Riga YouTube channel, and in this video we're going to be doing a reading for all my Scorpio sun sign friends. If you're born between the dates of October 23rd and November 21st, then you are a Scorpio sun sign, and this reading is for you. Happy birthday, Scorpio! This is Scorpio season. That's an exciting time. And in this video, I'm going to be doing a look at the month ahead for the month of November for all Scorpio sun signs. And this reading is designed to tell you what past, present, and future energies are surrounding you at this time, as well as what to hold on to and let go of in the month ahead, as well as what obstacles and lessons you're likely to learn in the coming month. Basically, it's designed to give you all the information you need to make November the best month possible. Let's introduce you to some of my crystal friends. I've got my sodalite sphere as always. You guys know this guy. He's with me for every reading. I also brought along a rainbow moonstone egg. This is a very soothing, feminine goddess type energy, which is going to help with the reading. And I also brought a small little rough piece of tanzanite, and this is going to help bring some energy, vitality, and hopefully some psychic energy to this reading as well. Alright, today we're going to be using the Super 8-Bit Tarot. This is a fun, quirky, colorful video game themed deck that I really love and enjoy. If you want to learn more about it, I have a video review of it, review of the deck on my channel. That was hard to spit out, which I'll put a link to in the card. You can just click on that in the top right corner of the screen if you want to learn more about it. Alright, if you would, please give me a moment to center myself and ask the tarot cards the question: what are the energies surrounding Scorpio sun signs in the month of November? Alright, that ought to do it. We'll cut the deck and deal them out. All right, and while we're at it, we're going to consult the Keepers of the Light Oracle deck. And we're going to ask it what spiritual message it has for Scorpio sun signs this November. What spiritual message for Scorpios this November? And we shall take a look at that card at the end of the reading. Alright, Scorpio friends, let's get into it. I see an interesting mixture of cards here. We got all the suits represented: Pentacles, Swords, Wands, and Cups. No major arcana, which leads me to believe that you're in control of your destiny this month, and there's not going to be too many outside influences impacting you. So let's look at these cards individually and then see what they have to say as a whole. The first card we're going to look at is this one, and it represents the energies of last month, so the energies of October. And we've got the Page of Wands. And the feeling I'm getting from this is that a lot of us Scorpio friends in the month of October were being a little bit more adventurous than usual. We're taking more risks. We're going out there having adventures. For some of you, this could signal adventure, maybe travel, possibly. But I'm getting more of overall energy of just not caring so much about the results and just going out there and being ourselves, doing your thing. And I think that's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful energy. So October seemed like it was a time for you to test out new ideas, go to new places possibly, and just kind of broaden your horizons a little bit more. And not necessarily worrying about the effects or the logistics, and just kind of just doing it and just being out there and enjoying it. So I do get the feeling that October was a very a new kind of energy, but it was a very productive month in the sense that you got to try new things and you got to be less inhibited. I think that's the main thing to take from this, is that you felt a little bit less inhibited in October, which is great. So let's move on over to this card, which represents the present energies. And we've got the Two of Cups. And I get the feeling now that forming relationships is kind of taking the forefront of your energies. And, I don't just mean like making new friends. Maybe this could be rekindling with old friends or spending time with old friends. Spending more time with the people who are, you're close to. So maybe this is people coming back into your life or new people coming into your life. Just being more social is the feeling I'm getting, Scorpio friends, is that you're being a little bit more social now. You're allowing people to enter into your life. Maybe in the past you've been a little bit more guarded and you've been just, focused on yourself a little bit more. But I'm getting the feeling that right now, at the end of October, there's a little bit more social dynamics to your life, and I think that's good too. It's not good to be a hermit and hiding away, and it's great to form new friendships and rekindle old ones. So definitely, and this could be romance for some of you. For individuals, this is a general overall reading, and this card is going to apply to people differently since there's so many people that this reading is for. But this could also mean a budding romance that some of you will be experiencing at this time. So I think that's great. We'll see where that heads. Let's look at this card. This card represents the energies of next month, so the energies of November. We've got the Queen of Cups. Give me a moment with this one. All right, I get the feeling that November is going to be a time for you to get more in touch with your emotions, to understand them better, to process them better, to learn from them, to just allow them to be. And, some people will repress their emotions. Some people will go overboard on their emotions and just get lost in them. And I think November is going to be a time for more of a balance, for us to, us being Scorpios, I'm a Scorpio myself, for us to have a more balanced attitude towards our emotions, learn from them but not get lost in them, validate them but not over validate them. Does that make sense? Ideally, our emotions are things that are here to teach us, and we learn the lesson, and then we move on. We don't get stuck in them. So ideally, that's how we would process our emotions. And I think that's a lot of that's going to happen in November. A lot of you are going to be following your emotions towards your highest goals, and helping others, helping yourself. And I'm just getting nothing but positivity from these cards, Scorpios. It looks like a great time in our lives. A lot of positive energy so far. So let's see what the other cards have to say. This card represents what to hold on to in the month of October. We've got the Two of Wands. All right, this card is saying keep those doors open. Don't shut any doors, okay? Maybe you don't know where you're headed. Maybe you have no idea possibly where you want to go or where you head, and that's fine. But the important thing is to leave the doors open. Don't shut any doors. Even if you can't even visualize yourself walking through a particular door, you still don't need to shut it. Have that door remain open. So, who knows what could happen in the future? Who knows how much you'll change? And then one day, maybe that's the perfect door for you to go through. But, now it might not seem like it. So it's best not to shut the doors. So this card is saying, maintain the idea that anything is possible. And you don't have to be so rigid, so structured in where you're headed. It's a good thing to just keep your options open and remain open to new things. Remain open to things that your ego mind is telling you are not really even possible, and just leave those doors open. I know that's kind of abstract, but it's something that it makes sense in my mind. Let's say you're a taxi driver and there's an opportunity for you to go to med school, and maybe you don't have the money now, maybe you don't even want to be a doctor, but in 2 years, who knows what could change. And if you tell your friend who's gonna, I don't know, I just made a hypothetical situation in my mind, and it doesn't really make sense. Don't tell your friend that you don't want to go to med school. I don't know what that story was about. Just don't shut doors, okay? I don't need to make an example. I don't think I think that's pretty obvious. All right, let's go to this card here, which represents the biggest lesson or the biggest the biggest hurdle or obstacle you're likely to face in the month of November. And we've got the Nine of Swords, and this message is loud and clear. It's screaming at me. I think the biggest hurdle is going to be ourselves this month, and it's going to be those negative ego thoughts. You know what I mean, right? I'm not good enough for this. I'm not tall enough for that. I don't have enough money for this. I don't have enough experience for that. I'm ugly. I'm poor. I don't have friends. You know, all those stupid, untrue things we tell ourselves, or more accurately, our ego minds tell ourselves. And I think those are the things that are going to kind of self-sabotage in the month of November. It's going to be a hurdle. And the main thing to realize about this is that you are creating this 100% yourself. There's no one making you think these thoughts. You think these thoughts because your ego wants to think them. And the best way to kind of curb that or minimize that or reduce those completely is to not give your ego so much control. And you can do that by being more conscious about the thoughts you're thinking. And when your ego starts to go into a negative space, you just say, ego, no, we're not going there. I would kindly like it if you step aside. I'm going to be more heart-based until you can get your act together. Just be stern with the ego, right? The ego's been in charge for so long that it just wants to be in charge. And if it's in charge, it will send these negative thoughts your way. And we don't want that. It's going to be a hurdle that we need to jump over in the month of November. So just be aware of that and try to catch yourself when you're thinking negative thoughts. Catch yourself as quickly as you can and find the positives. Find the flip side to those thoughts. Find the silver lining in those thoughts and focus on that instead, and do that one at a time. Catch those thoughts, as many as you can, before they spiral out of control, and I think you'll have very few problems in the month of November. Okay, this card here represents what to let go of in the month of November. We've got the Two of Pentacles, and to me, this card is saying you need to let go of the worry, the stress, the anxiety, just the energy placed on those day-to-day money things. You know, we so much of our time is spent worrying if we're going to be able to pay the bills, if we're going to be able to, and it's not just money, this is anything really tangible. I know I said money, and that for most of us it probably is money, but this could be a lot of things, anything that's tangible, physical, and worrying about the day-to-day thing. So maybe you're on a diet and you're stressing about the diet, you're thinking a lot about it. This card is saying, don't worry about the diet, don't think about the diet, just do it. Like, why do you have to stay up at night worrying about stupid things that don't really matter? They're inconsequential. So, stop worrying, stop spending energy on, am I going to be able to pay that bill, or how am I going to afford to, buy this thing, or, I got to go do that thing, I don't want to do it. Don't just go with the flow, man. Stop worrying about the little things. They're not important. They'll take care of themselves. And as long as you're living in the present moment as much as possible, they don't exist. And a lot of this is anxiety over the future. And you're in the present moment, but you're thinking about the future. Yet you're in the present moment, but all your attention is being paid to the future. So what you're literally doing is erasing your existence. Because since all that matters is the present, and if you aren't present in the present, then where are you? You're nowhere. The future doesn't exist. It's a figment of your imagination. So that's the way to get out of that, okay? Don't focus on anything in the future that's you're worried about. Just it'll come when it comes. And as long as you're paying attention to the present moment and making the present moment the best you possibly can, then you'll do the best you can when these events actually do come up. And it'll all be fine, trust me, okay? All right, this card here represents the energy of the people around you in the month of November, excuse me. And yes, people in your life will be individuals and have individual energy, but this card kind of represents the energy of people as a whole in your life. And we've got the King of Cups. I think the people in your life are going to be pretty emotional and stable. So I definitely see, if you need advice, emotional advice, I think people in your life are going to be there. If you need emotional stability in the month of November, the people in your life are going to be there for you. If you need, just to be someone who is going to understand you and not judge you or be empathic towards you, then I think the people in your life are going to be there for you. And of course, who this means. Some people in your life are going to be, filling in this role more than others. So seek their counsel. Spend time with those people this month. They're going to have a positive impact on you. They're going to help you to be more creative as you, get in touch with your emotions more. Which is the theme for November here. You're going to be more creative and more expressive, and you're going to be able to express yourself better because you have a better idea of yourself, right? So that's a great thing. The people in your life are going to be positive influences. Not everyone, but as a whole, I think the people in your life are going to be positive influences on you this November. Okay, all right. This last card represents the biggest lesson you're likely to learn in the month of November, and we've got the Seven of Wands. Ooh la la. Give me a moment with this card. Okay, the lesson is there's going to be a lot of distractions along your way. This is going to come in all different forms, whether it's the media, people, the workplace, who knows. But there's going to be distractions aplenty trying to grab your attention and move you away from this exploration of the emotions that November is supposed to be. And I think that's going to be a lesson for you, is learning how to not necessarily ignore completely outside influences, but not allowing them to cord into you and drain your energy. Learning to protect yourself from these things, learning to stay focused in the face of these distractions is going to be a valuable lesson that we're likely to learn in the month of November. So I think that's going to be, that's going to help us to grow, because there's always going to be distractions, and it's so easy to allow these distractions to take us on tangents, and then we wake up 2 weeks later and we're on a whole different tangent than we ever wanted to be because we got consumed by this thing. And that's just an example of not being able to protect your energy. So that's what we're going to learn this month, Scorpio friends, is how to protect our energy better in the face of distractions and stay on our path and our goal despite distractions around us. Okay, so now that we've seen all these cards, let's look at it as a whole. I definitely see a movement from experimentation and adventure, moving in November towards emotion and feeling emotions more. And a lot of us might meet somebody, or we might rekindle a relationship that kind of sparks some emotion in us and leads to us exploring our emotions more. So November is going to be a time for the exploration of emotion. I do get the feeling. Hold on to the opportunities. Allow opportunities to surround you. And don't just immediately shut off an opportunity just because it sounds strange. Be open to it. Be open to anything. And if you're open to everything, then anything is possible. The biggest obstacle is going to be yourself. It's going to be your own ego mind telling you things that aren't true, telling you negative things about yourself that aren't true and just don't serve you. So that's going to be one of the challenges, and that's going to be one of the distractions, is your own ego mind. And that's going to be a task for you this month, is to control that as much as you possibly can by switching those thoughts to positivity. Don't worry so much about the day-to-day things. Don't worry about the future so much. Things will take care of themselves as long as you're focused on the present. Then everything will work out just perfectly. Don't worry. Don't stress. Don't have anxiety over little things in the future. There's no point. The people in your life are going to be there for you. They're going to be solid emotionally. They're going to help you through this time of emotional sussing out. So seek their counsel if you feel like you need it, and realize that your biggest lesson is going to be in staying focused amidst distractions. There's a lot of S's and D's in there. It's hard to say. Stay focused amidst... I can't even say it. Why bother? Yeah, you get the idea. All right, before we go, we asked the Keepers of the Light Oracle what spiritual message it had for my Scorpio Sun sign friends in the month of November, and we've got... Kalima. Okay, facing fear. Major spiritual changes are unfolding. This is your chance to soar. So, like I said, there's a lot of challenges and a lot of change coming for Scorpios in the month of November. And it's going to... One of the themes here is going to be facing your fears. The Nine of Swords over here, just like I was saying. Your fears, your ego implants fears in you, and it's time to face those, and it's time to transmute those into positivity so that they're not controlling you, so they're not dictating how your life is going to go. If you're living your life based on fears, and you're not going to take chances, you're not going to seize opportunities, you're going to be kind of stuck and static, and we don't want that. Kali Ma is here to tell you that your fears are nothing to be afraid of. In fact, facing them is what's going to enable you to grow the fastest and the strongest, and that's what we're going to have to do this month is stare down our ego and say, ego mind, I love you, I appreciate you, but you have too much of a role in my life, and it's time for you to take somewhat of a back seat. I still need you to help me remember when my friend's birthday is and what to eat tonight, but I don't need you to tell me what to be fearful of in the future, because that's not serving me. So that is going to be the theme for this month's Scorpio friends. I hope you guys enjoyed that reading. If you want a specific reading tailored just for you, then this is a general reading. So if you want a specific reading for you, then head on over to my Etsy shop. I'll put a link in the description below. You can just click on that and get sent over there, and there's a bunch of different spreads that we can use to get to the bottom of your issues and work together to find healing for anything you might have. So I'd appreciate it if you go check that out. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a like. It lets me know that you enjoyed it and got something out of it, and I'd really appreciate that. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, put those in the comment section below. I love to hear what you guys have to say about these readings. And if you really enjoyed this reading, please consider subscribing. I release these videos bi-monthly, and I also do a weekly reading every Sunday, and I also sprinkle a bunch of videos in between those, so there's plenty to see and catch up on. So be sure to hit that subscribe button to stay up to date. Alright, thank you, Scorpio friends. Once again, happy birthday. This is going to be a month of exploration, facing our fears, taming our ego, but you have the strength, the courage, the knowledge, the ability, the energy to do all that, and you will. Alright, so have a great month, Scorpio friends. Leave a like if you enjoyed this. Happy taroting. Peace.